Hello YouTube, what's going on? Shaney 2K here with a very special guest. He was on the hit Netflix show Last Chance U Basketball, and he was the assistant coach. Coach Rob, how is it going today, Coach?
Oh, it's going pretty good here. It's kind of unseasonably warm in Southern California today. I believe it's like 93 today where I live. I live about 37 miles from East LA Community College, East Inland. So it's an unseasonably warm day, but it's a good day. The sun's out. I'm healthy, man. Happy to be here with you today, Shane.
I'm glad to hear you're happy to be here. Again, big pleasure even getting you. It was tough, emailing you back and forth. It was tough, but you'd be amazed how many emails I send to people to get interviews. So it means a lot for you even taking the interview, especially because, again, you are probably one of the highest profile people I've gotten. I mean, if you haven't seen Coach Rob before, go to Netflix, watch Last Chance U Basketball. You're going to fall in love with the show, every character on it. And, I mean, you were one of those, like, you weren't a main character necessarily, but a lot of people loved you for sure.
The actual attention has been a little bit like overwhelming and almost embarrassing at times because I'm not shy by any means. I'm not shy, but I don't think that like any of us, including like Coach Mosley, who has just been completely overwhelmed, our head coach, like we didn't anticipate any of this. Like even during the season, there were so many times where I was like, they don't even have a show, because to you guys watching, it's this documentary about junior college basketball and the journey, and to us, it's just another season. I mean, it happens every year, so it's we didn't think it would have this much of an impact, but we're very pleased with the results and very pleased with just being able to shine a light on junior college basketball and literally the last chance that some of these kids have, and how we can help them, as a society, as a basketball community, get that last shot so they can do a little something better with their life.
No, I mean, I've been saying since the first season of Last Chance U football 3-4 years ago, there needs to be a basketball edition for this.
Yeah. Well, there always should be basketball, no matter what it is.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care what it is. It should have basketball in it. Whatever you're doing in life, you should have basketball in it, because the world just makes sense when you're hooping.
100%.
That's what I figured out in my 48 years of existence. If there's hoop season, if it's basketball, if there's a game on, if you're going to the gym, if you're at the park, if the ball's in your hands, like the world just makes sense.
Oh, yeah. Anything. You could solve math while you're playing basketball. It'll work.
Yeah, I'd say it all the time, man. Like, if the doctors would just come into the gym and do jump stops, they cure cancer, man. Just come on in, man. Just come into the gym. Everything makes sense in that world.
No, I couldn't agree more. I play basketball myself. But, I don't think, especially the name of the show, Last Chance U, I don't think you could have found another junior college in America that would have fit the name of the show and the aspect of how the football seasons ran quite like East LA did. I mean, every single player had a story. All of them.
You were right. And, I mean, you guys, as viewers, I mean, you saw like 3 or 4 of them, and believe me when I tell you, like all 15 had a real story. And out of the 15 kids we had, I mean, there's probably 2 kids out of the 15 who, like, if basketball stopped for them today, they'd have a chance of furthering their education, or they just have a chance in society in general, just giving a damn about them. For these kids, it's really what it was. Like, if it's basketball or nothing. Like, if they didn't have basketball, nobody would care, and they wouldn't even further go along. And that's one of the things I was happy about that it portrayed. It's just the what we do at the JC level, to change lives of these young men who they're good kids, man. They can make it. They just need help.
No, I mean, I like how you said that you only got to meet a few of them. And I agree, because I remember watching, and in the background of all the mayhem that's happened, you just saw this white ginger kid who looks so out of place.
Oh,
Mark,
yeah, you're talking about Mark Boland.
I
Oh my
love
God,
Mark.
hey, he can play too, and you never really got to see it in the season. He could really play. He was 6'5". He was the best shooter on our team. He's athletic. The kid had bounce. Like he could play. It's just it can be tough at the college level sometimes just to see the floor, but. Mark got a scholarship to a Division II in Missouri, and so he landed on it. He got a full ride scholarship. He did. He landed on his feet all right, man, because he was a good player. I really like Mark. I spent a lot of time with Mark. He's a special kid, man, and he does have that Canelo look to him too. That's that we always joke with him about, as everybody does. But as a side note on Mark was the only white kid on his high school team. And so it wasn't that big a deal to go to East LA. And then now, kid you not, he's at a HBCU college. He's at a historically black college. So that Mark is that's how Mark rolls, yo. That's how Mark rolls. Great kid though.
No, I think it was around episode 4 or 5, out of nowhere, you just see him sat down in front of the camera, and I was like, they're letting him talk. I was so excited. But
yeah, I wish they would have. I mean, hey, that kid, if you look at a map of LA, he was staying over by East LA, and some things happened with his living situation. So he had to move out to the valley, and he was living in Northridge. And Northridge is a hump to East LA if you can look on a map. And he would take a train and bus every day and spend hours getting to and from to finish that basketball season. It was just a real testament to his hard work and his commitment and his never give up attitude. And I wish we could have had more Mark on the show for sure. Actually, it's on the cutting room floor because there was a lot of Mark on there. It's just a matter of what the producers and the directors decided to show.
no, yeah, in about the second half of the season, he was just always that kid on the bench you saw yelling and stuff. And then he starts getting in games, and then he starts just going off, and then he got more and more time in the show until there was episodes where it felt like he was the main character in it, and I loved it because I always look for that. I always look for that bench guy.
You always love the underdog, man. You always love the underdog.
Oh yeah, and Mark played it.
Hey, if you stood next to him, he's 6'5", 205 pounds, and and with bounce and a jump shot. He looks the part. Mark can hoop, man. I wish the world could have seen him do some of the things that we got to see every day.
No, Mark is actually surprisingly a fan favorite. I watched because I was trying to get in touch with him. I watched every day. I'd go back to his page, and his followers just kept growing and growing, and it was nuts, as well deserved.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, he grinded, man. He put up with us for a year, man. He deserves anything he gets, man.
Now, speaking of deserving what you get, I feel like you and Coach Mosley, you guys work so hard, and before Last Chance U, I don't think a lot of people even saw that. Like, he mops the courts. Like, he does.
Oh, yeah. Coach is on game day, man. He gets in his mode. And he goes on his gospel music on the PA, and he goes to work on that floor. It's that's his ritual. But that's that level. We all have to do everything. There's no glamour to JC basketball in California. There's absolutely none. And me and Coach, we pretty much did it all because Coach Hunter, his role, and his situation, there's not a lot he can do physically. And so it's me and Mosley, and we do it all from driving the kids. We drive the kids to every single game. Me and him in that in those vans, and we do all the laundry, and we do the floor, and we do the study halls, and everything that has to be done. It's just us. There's not a lot of resources, so it's JC's a grind, man. It's definitely a grind, but it like I said, I'm glad it got to show a light on one, because we're just one of 300 JCs in America that are trying to play basketball, and all of them got it tough, So I'm glad we're able to shine a light on what they're doing, because a lot of them are doing a lot of real positive stuff for kids.
No, and just it being a JC, it gets a different entire name from, let's say, Division I college, but you're working 9 to 10 hour days, and you've even, I'd say, passed up not necessarily better offers, but you were in a lot better type of situations. Like, you coached at Notre Dame High School for 20 years, like, and I feel like this is just a perfect fit for you. It's
It
beautiful.
was. It was the right place. It was definitely the right place at the right time, and I had accomplished pretty much what I could at the high school level. I really couldn't have done much more besides, I suppose, win that last game because we did lose in the state championship in 2018. I had done it, and I was ready, and man, it was a great opportunity to jump on at East LA. They're a really good team, and Coach Mosley needed somebody. A lot of times you're like, hey, I need a guy who needs help or something. But no, Coach Mo needed a coach that could do a lot of different things. And I was able to check those boxes for him and make a difference in our winning season.
No, and I could tell how big the coaching was on that team. You know, a lot of the time it's let the players play. Some teams don't even need coaching at, especially the JC level. It's not as integral, but your team was so, like, you needed everything you could get. And you guys were the perfect coaching tandem. And even other people behind the scenes. You were such a great coaching staff that it just felt like a perfect fit. I mean, obviously there's downfalls and stuff. You know, the season was rocky and all, but you guys really kept it together, and especially during playoffs, you guys really became one team. I feel like.
It was, and that's what playoff basketball is. Playoff basketball is not about winning. It's about not losing. That's what it is, because it's a one game and you're done. And so, back in the 80s, North Carolina State dubbed it, survive and advance, and that's literally what a playoff situation is. You just survive the game, and then you're just fortunate enough to advance to the end. And the team really came together there towards the end. I'm not even say we're playing our best basketball at the end, but the guys and the staff, we all came together in a way that where we weren't going to lose regardless. And that's a true testament, of the whole team concept.
No, I couldn't agree more. I mean, you guys, especially at the end, you were playing. It was pretty sloppy basketball, but your team was the chemistry was so high that it was fine. And you
Yeah,
guys,
it wouldn't. Yeah, our leaders wouldn't let us lose, and the guys weren't going to let us lose. Like, our best players didn't really help us win, but they just wouldn't let us lose.
yeah,
And you need that during a championship run, because
oh yeah,
when you play 5-6 games to get to a championship game, two of them are going to be pretty bad. You got to survive that, and so we were able to get through that a little bit, and the team really came together. It was an incredible experience, man. It was cool to see it documented as well, because the way that it ended, you almost forgot, and we were distanced from it because we were sent home just like everybody else, and so you had to work from home, and there was no basketball. So I mean, we hadn't been in the gym for a year when that show came out, so when it did, we were kind of reliving it again, just as you guys were living it as your first time seeing it. We were reliving it, and it was quite special to see.
no, that must have been. Now that I think of it, I mean, all the seasons are taped the season before it happened, but especially because of what happened with the pandemic and all, that must have been really crazy to relive that.
The emotion of that day when the pandemic really set in to
Oh my
America,
god.
and that was. It was Black Friday in March. That day, even if you see me in the episode, as I'm just naming off all of the conferences that are shutting down, and everything just periodically shut down in your neighborhood, and the schools shut down, and the sports shut down, and the stores were shutting down, and it all happened so fast, and you almost forget about the emotion of that time, or how significant that week was, and not only in our lives, our team, East LA, but like in American history. So it was we got kind of distanced and removed from it, but man, when it got to episode 8, it really came crashing down even on myself. It was emotional. It
No,
really was reliving that again.
it was. I watched it, and everyone was telling me, like, my friend suggested I watch it the day after it came out because he binged it, and he was just like, the ending's gonna kill you. It's an awful ending. And I was like, okay. And then I'm realizing, I'm like, oh, it's like March 13th, March 16th coming up. I'm like, oh, God, I know exactly. And it killed me. I was like, oh, they're gonna play this last game. It's gonna get canceled halfway through, like, the March Madness. There was 2 games that happened to. Seeing you
Yeah.
come on the bus and saying with tears in your eyes, telling everyone to get off the bus, that was just like I didn't cry, but I don't cry. I don't get emotional during shows. That killed me. That
Oh,
broke me in
yeah, it
half.
was it when we got to watch it about a week before everybody else. The people at Netflix let us watch it first, and I didn't know I'd be emotional, but I just know I was in tears watching it as the emotions flooded back, and it had so much more to do with just like a win or a loss or not being able to play. It was just feeling the uncertainty of that day, and I remember like me and Coach, we can you can live with the wins, you can live with losses and wins because I've been coaching for over 20 years and I played as long as that as well. So you can live with that, but the uncertainty of that day, watching your kids walk out of that door and not knowing what's going to happen next for them was incredibly difficult. And then I didn't realize or remember how difficult that was until watching it unfold on camera. So it was boy, it was emotional, but it's so relevant, and it's a snapshot. It's American history from here on out. And I'm just fortunate and grateful I was part of it.
I mean, yeah, there's definitely a lot of cons to all of it happening, but it is weird that I mean, your kids are what? There's KJ 20, the other one's 20, and then Justice is 18, right?
Yeah, I have two 22s and a 19.
Oh, okay. So
Two 22s.
the website I got that off was wrong. That's not my fault. I was
Oh yeah, well it was probably
just
they probably
throwing you
were
a curveball. I love to show how much I research. It's so fun. I By the way,
yeah
it literally means
you're safe just to say your kids are in college, and I'm like yeah, they are. They're all three of them. All three of my boys are in college.
no, and I just wanted to say I really love how you spelled all of their names. It's beautiful. Justice especially. I no, I love it.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate
Oh,
it.
of course. So, you can look back to my research. You can look up a lot about you. You can see the USBL and stuff, but I see how you interact with players, and I can tell because I've had coaches that were former athletes and weren't. So I'd like to ask you, and this is gonna be, it's been 25 years now.
Right.
What was it like doing high jump for the NCAA in 1996? I want to hear
Um,
about your days high jumping in college.
Man, that was that's almost a fluke thing. I was a really good track athlete in high school. Like I was a high major recruit track athlete. I could really jump high and run fast. But basketball was my passion, and I loved hoops so much. And my family all say it's a mistake, but kids are always saying, yeah, I could have went here, I did this, and they're always lying. But I mean, I had high track programs who desperately wanted me to come and run at their school, and when I was in high school at the end of high school. But I chose basketball, and my freshman year of hooping at yeah, like I turned down like USC and Michigan to go to play at a junior college in basketball. That's how crazy about hoops I was. The I'm playing basketball, and like the first official day, I blow my knee out, the knee I jump on, and so that changed. That'll really change you, especially back then with surgeries in the early '90s. It's not like today. Technology is a lot different, so it had a real adverse effect on how I could jump and how fast I could run. And it took years. I subsequently had a couple more surgeries on the same knee because they screwed it up and throughout college. And my last year of college, I just kind of, lucked into an opportunity where the coach was like, I remember you from high school. You were one of the better jumpers in the state, in the country. Could you come out and maybe try it again? And, I mean, I went out there, and lo and behold, the leg held up for like a month and a half. And I was jumping over the bar, and I made it to the NCAA finals in '96. It was quite the experience. That is That's for sure.
That's a crazy story. I honestly wasn't. I was ready for you to be like, yeah, I played hoops on the side. I did this for the coach. Like I was ready. This is literally a fluke. Like
It was. I mean, it really. I high jumped in like May of 1991, and then I didn't get on a track and jump until May of '96. Like there was nothing in between. I was hooping, and they grabbed me out the gym. It's like, you want to try it again? It was, I just did it, And
5 years.
I had a really good day at a track meet. I think we were at that was at we were at Cal State Bakersfield, I believe, and man, if I didn't jump over 7 foot that day and qualify, I was like, man, what the heck, It was quite the experience, And then afterwards, I mean, I really didn't even jump again either because my dumb ass went back to just thinking about basketball. So it was just one of those things, man. But the cool part was I made it to the finals. If you make it to the finals, you're an NCAA All-American. So it was pretty cool.
You were an All-American in '96. That's insane to say.
Yeah. When you look back, when you look back and you talk about it right now, yeah, it is. I don't think about it much at all. I don't, because it was such a blip. Whereas my basketball, I can tell you. I mean, I could tell you how many points I had against Moore Park College in '92. So it was kind of a blip, but it was a heck of an experience, man. It was quite the experience. And I probably would have done track, but like I said, when you run and you jump, you got to have a leg that's pretty strong like that. And those 3 knee surgeries between '91 and '93 and '94, it was too much on my leg. So I just couldn't high jump, long jump, and triple jump like I used to be able to do. Had to give it up.
No, but it's still a pretty insane story. I guarantee.
It is insane too, especially if I told you, and this is true, that like I didn't have enough credits to graduate, and like the athletic director pretty much told me, like, if you make it to the NCAA finals, we'll finish paying for your school. So I was literally jumping for my life for that 6 weeks.
Oh my God.
Literally.
Well, I understand how you made it now.
Yeah, I mean, if I don't make it over the bar, I might not graduate college because they're not going to finish paying for my school because I was a transfer student to that school. And so, yeah, I guess they didn't think I was going to do it. Hell, neither did I. I got over that bar, and they finished paying for my last 2 quarters of school, and Coach Rob got himself a couple degrees.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny how things work out. I mean, yeah, the blowout of the knee, it's awful, but also, like, it worked out a little bit.
Oh, well, especially, from a basketball standpoint. I didn't make any. When you blow your knee out, you change your game. I made a couple threes in high school. That's not what I did. And then I had to sit out a year, and I blew my knee out. Then my freshman year, I broke the school record place I was at, made like 140. And so you change your game completely because of the injury. So the knee made me a better basketball player. I just wasn't an explosive or that athlete that I was before.
No, I mean, I'm a firm believer in everything happens for a reason. And, it's weird how everything ties back into the show, back into everything we're talking about. So, I got a few more questions, but I have a little segment for you. I want you to just, I'm not going to say, like, one word to describe them, just a little bit to describe. I'm going to give you 5 people to just a little bit to describe them. They're all from the Netflix show. Don't get too scared.
Sure.
So, first up, head coach John Mosley.
John Mosley is he's a passionate, faithful man. That's what he is, and he's John's a lot of fun to be around, but it's when it comes hoops time, man, he's passionate, and when it comes time for him to get to preaching, he is faithful. That's John.
My personal favorite from the show, besides Mark, Deshaun Heiler.
Oh, Deshaun Heiler. Deshaun Heiler's a dog, yo. I mean, he is mentally tough. He's just a dog. He's the type of guy, like, he's the type of dude that you always pick first at the park to play. Like, he's your first pick. Always put Deshaun on your team. Always, because Deshaun's trying to win, and he will fight you to the death to win it, just to win anything that they're doing. So he's Sean's a dog. He's a junkyard dog. He was a joy to coach.
Malik Muhammad.
Oh, Malik Muhammad is Malik is the hardest working lazy basketball player I've ever coached in my entire life. Malik works hard for 2 hours in practice, and the other 22, he don't want nothing to do with you. Great kid, though. Lots of fun. He was lots of fun to coach, too.
Oh, I bet. KJ Allen.
KJ Allen is a special kid, man. Incredible soul. Kindest, most coachable kid I think I've ever coached, and I don't know if I've ever been around someone that good, that humble. He just plays the game, and he's incredibly gifted and talented. You know, in the show, I joke because you hear it all the time, like people always throw out this word like this kid is a beast, and this kid is a beast, and they're not. Like KJ is. I don't think I've ever seen anybody as beastly as that kid is. He is something. He is something else. Can't wait to watch him at Texas Tech next year.
Last but not least, one of the hotheads of the show for sure. Everyone at least enjoyed watching. Joe Hampton.
Joe Hampton is he's the true definition of Jekyll and Hyde. I mean, he really is. Joe was very difficult to coach, and he made our life really hard as basketball coaches. He was hard, but off the court, some practices, not all of them, but some practices, and off the court at all times, the nicest kid you'll ever be around. I mean, if he had $2 to his name, he'd give you his last $2. And the team absolutely loved him. And that's why it made it okay for us to coach Joe, because the team loved him so much. He was never a cancer to the team. He was only a cancer to himself. And so that enabled us to coach Joe through that time to where he is now. He's doing really good at Long Beach State. I talk to Joe a couple times a month still, and I'll be working him out here as soon as he just banged up his knee a little bit. But we'll be in the gym together here in the next couple weeks and see if we can get him back right, ready to go to Long Beach next year.
No, I've been keeping track of most of the players. You know, he put up 19 points in like February. I mean, Joe has a lot of potential that's still untapped, surprisingly.
Joe, yeah. Well, Joe's another one who blew his knee out twice. So
yeah.
It's really, from an athletic standpoint, you're only seeing half of Joe. That's all we get to see. We'll ever see is half of what Joe had athletically. But Joe's game, man, he's 6'5", 255, 260 pounds. I mean, 6'8". He's a legitimate 6'8", 250, 260. And he's the smartest basketball player on the team, the most fundamental, can do it all, can dribble, shoot, pass, cut. He's like a coach on the floor. He just had some real baggage before that season, and I know everybody kind of saw the worst of Joe, but if you got a taste of kind of what Joe was going through, but if you guys really knew, you know, if they really knew what Joe's day was like before he even came to practice, you would have a sympathetic ear for the kid. You know, that still don't mean he didn't piss us off every day in practice. He wanted to throw stuff at him, but still, Joe had it tough, man. He was going through some things, and I'm so proud of Joe for getting through it. And those issues he don't have now. Now he just goes to school and he gets buckets for Long Beach State. If he can stay out of foul trouble, that fool would average 20 a game at Long Beach State. But you know, that's Joe, man. Joe's a foul every 3 minutes.
Every damn game I'm watching.
Hey, same thing at Long Beach State, man. Watch him play. He's at every game. Every game he has.
It's a heart attack to watch him play. It's so tough.
Oh, it's hard, yeah. It's because he can never get in his rhythm because he's always in foul trouble.
He's always on the bench because he's about to foul out.
Yeah. Joe's the only dude that'll foul out on the bench. You know what I mean? He'll be on the bench and foul out. And I'm not joking because he'll get like a technical and get his fifth foul and it'd be over because he's saying something. Joe's
That's Joe.
Something else, man. Great Great kid, though, man. If you met him on the street today, Shaney, if you met him on the street, you'd be blown away by how kind and how nice he is. Blown away.
No, I guarantee it. Joe is another one of those. I mean, I loved the entire team. I can name most of them by heart, but Joe is one of my favorites. And then hearing his story about how when he was at Division I, he just had the issues with whether it be substances or something like that. He always just, and I was always rooting for him because it's another underdog who.
Oh yeah, as I was, because I sympathized with him, man. When you're at a certain level and you get hurt and you're not allowed to play, it does something to you. It really does. And Joe just had problems with how he dealt with both his injuries, and so it resulted in substance abuse and him just not giving a damn for a little while. But hey, Joe's doing well, man. Joe's doing well. He's one of the better players in the Big West Conference, and he's getting buckets. And Joe will be over in like Sylvania, man, for 10 years getting a check, hitting jump shots, man. So Joe will be all right.
I'd buy that jersey. I'd buy a Hampton Sylvania.
Oh yeah, hey, me too.
That'd be awesome. Or like a Real Madrid Hampton jersey.
I'll be the first to get one too, man.
I'll be right behind you. We'll be in line. I do like to end all of my interviews with this same question, and I'm pretty sure I'm right with you being 48. You have officially won. Now, don't take this lightly or anything. I know it's no. I'm pretty sure you are officially the oldest person I've interviewed to date.
Oh my goodness, up to date. I'm the oldest one. I'm the old guy of the group.
Not by much. There is a guy who blocked LeBron once in his rookie year or something like that. But,
okay.
So you just took his spot, so he's off of it. But I like to end every interview, and it's always odd the answers I get between a 15-year-old prodigy 7-foot basketball player and an adult like yourself, because every answer is so different and intricate on this question. I love to end it. So, in life, let's just say 20 years, not 20, forgot. I don't know why I just said that. 50 years down the line,
50?
Yeah. Oh, I'm giving you another 50.
Half a century. I'm feeling it. Thanks, kid.
50 years down the line, it's coming towards the end. What do you want your legacy in life to be?
Oh, man. That's a simple one. And I want my legacy to be what I've tried to be as a professional. And my goal every day is I want to make everybody around me better every day. And I'm talking about my kids here at house, my students in my classroom, the players that I coach. I mean, everybody around me, the maintenance guy up at the gym, everybody. And what I've figured out is that the better I make people around me, then the more successful I am. And so I hope when it's all said and done, they look back and it's like, you know what, Rob made everybody better when he walked into a room and gave a piece of himself so everybody could be better. And I'm not going to act like that's always been the case, because I was young and really talented at one point. So I was selfish, and so it took a while to get to that, but that's what I want my adult legacy to be, no doubt, is that, hey, I make people better. I just want to make people better around me, man. Whatever they do, I want to make them better at what they do. And I'm hoping that's how I'm seen when it's all done.
No, and that's, again, every answer is so different on that, and I really liked yours. You're the first person to call it a simple question. It usually stumps every single person, but I'm happy you found it simple. Guys, Coach Rob, again, one of the highest profile people, the dude's on Netflix, literally, that's pretty insane. You can go check him out, CoachRob_ELAC on Instagram. I'll put all of his links in the description. If he's not posting pictures about his dog, he's posting pictures with the whole team. And thank you so much again, man. This interview was pretty amazing, I'll say it.
Oh, man, hey, I'm so glad I was able to help you, Shaney, and just like you saw on the show, man, hey, 2 years ago, man, nobody gave me a shot to do what I wanted to do either. And so all you need is a chance, man. If you got the talent and the grind, man, you just need a chance, kid. And, hey, keep grinding, man. Do your thing. And and someday you will have LeBron on this thing instead of Coach Rob.
Hey, I don't know who I'd take right now. I don't know.
Hey, I'm sure I'll be first in your heart for a while, but you know what? I hope and pray that they're a lot more famous than me one day, man. I really do for you, kid. I do.
And that means the world to me, but I don't think LeBron competed at the 1996 NCAA Finals for high jump.
Nah, he didn't. But I'm feeling it. Whenever he competed in, if he wanted to, that brother would have been the best in the world.
Oh, a 10-year-old LeBron would have cooked you in it, probably.
Yeah, he'd have been Olympic champion, no doubt.
But that's all, guys. Everybody go follow Coach Rob. It's been a pleasure. And like up the video, subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 1,000 subs. That's all. Peace out.